What does it mean to be free? What does it mean to decolonize our bodies? What are the lies that we've internalized in our bodies?
What does it mean to be a woman, and why am I always fixing, always altering?
So she's only ever defined by her opposition to men and her relationships to men.
So I think that sense of innocence is lost.
That felt like a turning point when I really felt like I was no longer just a kid, but I was a girl and a woman and becoming a woman.
I got so surprised when people cross the line. And I will be, oh wow, that is something you're not supposed to say.
At that moment, I realized that not everybody is kind or not everybody is looking out for the best interests of the community in a sense.
That terrifies me a little.
There's this feeling that you were always being looked at, but in a very one-dimensional way.
I hate the standard of beauty. I hate talking about it. I hate people talking about my appearance. It just made me feel really insecure about human connection that way.
People have placed that sense of you should actually do this, or you should actually look like that, or you should actually be this.
If you just keep saying something to yourself over and over again, it'll become more real to you, and it'll become like something that's physically felt.
And it's really conflicting because I do feel positive about being beautiful, but at the same time, I'm also opposed to the idea. I was partially voluntarily to be sexualized by others just for the feelings.
Something about irredeemable and unforgiving female characters that are really strong, but then are still being pushed around by these external forces. But they maintain this sense of identity and this sense of, I am this, even though this is possibly like not who I really am, like I am this. Part of being a girl is just being subjected to these really sexist, derogatory terms. And when you're walking down the street, it's totally okay for someone just to completely debase you like that.
I never feel fully womanized. Sometimes being a woman sometimes feel a lot of the fixing, altering I need to do before I can like fully identify with that identity. Should I always be in my best situation in order for people to stick around? I felt extremely lonely thinking about that and thinking about how that works.
Being black and being a woman of color specifically, even though you can do something well and you may not get applaud for it, but if you do something bad, they will let you know you're doing something bad, and they will shame you for it. And so it's this reoccurring thing of shaming. And I realized, you know what, I can't hold that, and I still have to keep pushing. I can't crawl up in a corner and die, because that's exactly what the world wants you to do.
And not everybody just trying to like call me out sometimes
can hold that,
and if I don't
that burden.
yeah, sometimes when I don't have enough energy, I don't know
And it's not
that way, and I just kind of
I'm mad at that person,
which
that I have to release
Go away, slut. Run away, slut. We have only this much time and this much space, and so we're kind of working under that constraint. The only real way to ground yourself in that is just to find as much freedom and find as much way to kind of break that open.
I know I have a strong support behind me, and I am trying to learn to be a strong support for them too, and so we ground each other that way.
I couldn't quite pinpoint like what about it was so strange. We all, as women, have internalized femininity to create this kind of self-identity that is personal to us, but also still drawing upon things that we've learned.
I love to ground myself with people who have the same or similar backgrounds or stories as me, because they can understand where I'm coming from and they can give me that guidance and support when I'm struggling to continue to move forward.
I've learned to seek out environments that uplift women's voices, all women's voices too, not just the most dominant narrative, but people who are not me, people who don't look like me.
Just really knowing that I'm not in this alone, in a sense. Like, I may have to do the journey alone, but I'm not alone.
I just always feel like I'm floating. I feel like I can adopt whatever qualities I want. I can pick up whatever ways of doing things and the ways I present myself, and I can just fully adopt whatever I want just because I'm floating, and I float to wherever places I want to go. I feel this strong connection, and we will always support each other no matter what.
I know who I am, or at least I know that even if I don't know who I am, I'm okay with who I am for right now, and I'm gonna love myself right now. And at the end, there's a celebration of our bodies and a reclaiming of it.
That's my resistance to the mainstream.